Hello everyone, and welcome back to another WARNO deck deep dive. This time featuring the Rügener Gruppierung and the deck that I have started to feel quite comfortable with since the patch dropped. And I played quite a couple of ranked games by now with it, with quite decent success, surprisingly to me. I expected the division to struggle a good bit, but it's actually was going quite well. And yeah, so I thought let's go in here with this one first, as I'm still trying to figure out 35th with a good build, and we were gonna go about that next week. But yeah, let's start with the Rügener Gruppierung with the Jungs here, and let's check out the logistics tabs with quite a lot of supply, and that allows you to use, first of all, your helicopters with constantly a supply truck next to it, and then your Puratinos, your coffin launchers here, quite well as well. So yeah, those are the two things here that you really want to resupply, and then infantry and tanks obviously always will need some as well. So yeah, having 3 cards of supply is nice. You have 8 CVs with this version of the deck, 5 in the infantry tab, and 3 UWATs, so that is totally fine as well. And yeah, then we have 51 units in the infantry tab. 10 of them ATGMs, because you don't get any infantry, no IVs for your infantry, so having some extra ATGMs around here is quite nice. You don't have any tanks with ATGMs either. Only thing you could get potentially is the Malyutka, but I'm not a big fan of that thing. Tested it out again, but yeah, you want to have the ATGMs here. So we take the cheap Fagot and then the Conkers to get around. We take a lot of SPWs here, SPW 70s and 60s here with Sicherungs and some Mordschützen, and then SVD in the star. The Topaz unfortunately doesn't have a 50 cal, so it's not worth it. But 4 weapon slots with a good amount of firepower here and an AT on the SVD unit is pretty solid. I found them quite good. The Polish infantry leader with the smoke for 50 points is really good as well. Reservistenführer helping out with a couple of Strellas can be nice as well, so both of these leaders having some values. And then your pioneers here are your chunky infantry that you want to have in the front line, 12 hit points here, making them really solid in CQC. And yeah, they only coming in trucks, so yeah, you want the SPWs here in high enough numbers that you have a couple of light armor with a 50 cal or like a heavy MG flying around. The coffin launcher, surprisingly strong. I'm really enjoying using these things to hit enemy MG positions, enemy infantry, ATGMs positions if you can sneak up on them and just wipe them out. The 130mm gun is really solid as well. I enjoy this thing a lot as well. Well, not a lot, but yeah, it's okay. It does a job. So yeah, the 130mm doing some damage can be used when you move it quite close to the front line. Pretty nicely. Tank tab, a lot better than Berliner Gruppierung. The Merida with its high accuracy together with the T55 is working quite nicely. T55A, just good bam. But the T62 and the T55A Merida with the 65% accuracy of 1 vet. They are a nice combo. T72 does the tanking, and the Merida does the long range damage. So, the extra pen here can come in nicely if you have some close range engagements as well. So yeah, good combo. It's not the best out there, but it's a good combo. And it gets you through like 25-30 minutes of the game without massive issues. And then later in the game, you will struggle though. Recon tab. I take the BT because you don't have any IVs, so having that around is pretty important. KSK, the 4 weapon slots, the TNT plus RPG is such a massive thing for this, which really makes me looking forward to more units with 4 weapon slots, especially special forces. Like if they get some of them get smoke, some of them get AT TNT combo as well and stuff like that, and they get more varied and stronger. Like special forces will be unique and also fun. KSK is both of that already, and I love the Kampfschirmer Commando here for that. They are a fantastic unit and a nice representation. Just missing the amphibious trait for my liking, but that is fine. Pioniere, Aufklärungstaucher, good CQC infantry unit as well. And yeah, the others are not really better. Grancers just don't have anything to offer, really. And the Aufklärer is now cheaper, 50 cal, that could be an option as well. But I like the having the extra TNT unit here that can fight a bit. And yeah, then the BT, as I said, for being a bit of an IFV, but also, yeah, adding a recon power there as well. AA, the Krooks are fantastic, especially with one vet. Like, they just gonna kill anything eventually, and you have the supply for resupplying them non-stop as well. The double 25mm, the VW50 with the double 25 is more reliable than the Fastas. It's also slightly more expensive, but it is quite reliable, and it has the same anti-helicopter range. I upvetted, then it has decent aim time and so on as well. It can even deal a bit of damage against airplanes flying over it. And then, as I found that I didn't use this super much, but it can be helpful at some spots, I take the 100mm with veterancy, because the accuracy buff is massive compared to, like, percentage-wise compared to its base accuracy, so it actually does some damage with that. And the damage buff here through that is nice, and I usually have like one on each flank at some point, and then it can help out a bit as an AT gun. It's extra range against helicopters compared to this AA gun is pretty helpful as well, and to the Strelas. So yeah, I take them there. And then the Strelas I take without the SPW. I like the look of the SPW, but 40 points is quite a lot. Like, that's an IFV kind of cost for a unit that currently doesn't quite perform there. If it would get higher damage against ground units, I would go for it with the double ZBU here. But its anti-helicopter and anti-aircraft range is rather low, and currently I just go with the normal Strelas. Like, even with the veterancy buff, I feel like the normal Strelas are just what you need. Then you can sell the UATs again and run it that way. Helicopters, the Urn, fantastic early game unit. That can be helpful as flank protection in the mid game as well. And then the Mi-14PL as a unit that is micro intensive, but it can one-shot Leo 2 A3s and so on. And I had it working really successfully as well. The 3000 meter range, fast flying ATGM that, if you use them in pairs, will hit really decently as well, at least, and that scares enemy. And with that, the Mi-14PL here, really solid unit, really solid card. Love using it. Yeah, and it's not OP, but it's quite strong. Like, people underestimate it still quite a bit. I really like this thing. And then the air tap is a good one as well. MiG-23 is helping out a bit with reliability, helping out the Krooks, and if the enemy has seaplanes, you kind of suicide them on the seaplanes, but the Krook can do the work afterwards. The KMGU is here for deleting infantry plops. You want to switch around and turn off the normal bombs if you're against infantry. The bombs are okay against vehicles a bit as well, and then you can use everything at once if the enemy has a little air defense. The LM6M is here for hunting ATGM positions and things like that. Like, that's where this thing can come in really fast and handy. The speed being so high is the real massive advantage it has above these two guys. That's why I like this thing. And then, yeah, it can kill those small leader units. It can kill infantry squads with double tap if you bring two of them, which is still pretty cheap. And it can't kill ATGM positions with a single strafe of one of these. So that is what you want to use them for. Su-22s with clusters and ATs, you need something to kill heavy tanks, and those are your best options to get off the helicopters. So yeah, being able to suicide something like this on M1A1 or so to stop the enemy from getting the combined arms that can crack you is pretty key. Like, there, if you need to crack a position, the enemy has just one M1A1 out yet, another one maybe rolling in somewhere in the rear, coming up in 2 minutes, and you need something to be done now, then the Su-22s are your savior and helping you out there. So this is the deck. It is pretty focused on keeping the pressure up from the get-go. It can protect that pressure quite decently. It has something in every tab, which is pretty solid. So nothing of this is super amazing, but it plays out really, really nicely. I don't believe it can just quite compete with the top level divisions. Like, I believe still 3rd US and 5th Panzer should be up there, but it is pretty strong, and those divisions got nerfed, so the playing field is a bit closer now, balance-wise. I think the balance is pretty decent, though still not perfect. But yeah, that's it. Hope to see you all next one, and don't forget to maybe jump in for the tournament tomorrow. And yeah, League Season 2 going to start soon as well, so see you all there. Bye bye.